Hello and greetings. Thank you for joining if you join. Um, what it's like to work with me. Well, I am constantly thinking, obviously, so are other people. So we're in our clear cognizance. So I kind of explain that we're already doing that psychic stuff anyway, and I normalize it. And how I normalize it is I give it the language that matches the world that you're in. Okay? We make word associations and create the energy patterns from the frequencies of the wave that we're putting out there through a thought and a feeling. All right. So I'm really excited about this. The best part is that I'm doing it by donation. And man, what a journey that has been. That has been hands down the best journey ever. And I can look at it and look back and look at everything that has transpired, and I can be very grateful for where I'm at right now. So super happy about that. So what's it like to work with me? Mostly it's me listening to what story you're in. Like what story is your focus in that moment when we meet? And I see the humor, the irony, if you will, of the universe, the energy, the situation, because it's all situational. It shifts, it changes every time we add another perspective. So, anyway, when you're working with me, I like to have fun. So maybe we'll dress up, maybe we'll wear wigs, maybe we'll dance. We'll probably do a lot of dancing. And then maybe we'll sit and we'll just talk. Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you tell me, right? Anyway, it's 45 minutes. The sessions are very deep. It'll be a deep energy aspect. That's what it's going to be. And it's not a bunch of bullshit, okay? So if you're going to book one, then I have an expectation set within that experience. So things will happen and shift for you, whether you attend or after you schedule, whether you attend or not. Once you go into your intention, the motor starts. So you'll feel shifts in your body, perspective will be added, you'll probably be able to see things a little bit more clearly because I'm asking that the psychic debris from all the static and the BS that we're experiencing be transmuted, right, into a different energetic signature, allowing things to be revealed, more revealed, more revealed. You see, each of us will come to a place where the line in the sand can't be drawn again. Each of us will. And in that, knowing who you are gives you that greater understanding of how you want to show up for yourself. All right? That's it. And so that's kind of like what it's like to work with me. I use a lot of tools. If you want to study tools, if you want to learn how to whatever energetically, I can definitely help you with that. Let's see. I can tell you a little bit about my story. That would probably help. So when I was 5 years old, my mom passed, and I had an experience. I think it was probably the day of the funeral because my dad was at the edge of the bed crying on his knees, and my sister was there, and my mom was like laying on the bed. No, she wasn't. That's like the apparition I saw. So she's lying on the bed in a different negligee than the one that she wore, because I can tell the difference. I don't know how. Anyway, my sister was standing over by her, and my mom was talking to my sister. My sister is 3 years younger than I, and she too experiences stuff like this. Anyway, so she's talking to mom, and mom beckons me over like this, right? Because I'm on the other side of my dad, and I'm patting him on the shoulder, trying to console him, right? And I go around and I listen to my mom, and my mom tells me, she says, "Tell daddy Mommy says everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be all right. And I go, okay, Mommy. And I walk away and I come back around my dad and I begin to pat him on the shoulder and I tell him exactly what my mom tells me to tell him. And he loses his shit. He just loses his shit. I can understand now at my age why, but when I was 5, I didn't, I thought that what I was telling him was going to make him feel better. Okay. Anyway, that was kind of like my life. I would know things and I would think that it would be a good idea to introduce these perceptions or these understandings or maybe these mentalism aspects, right? Or maybe feeling, emotion, reading aspects that I was experiencing that felt very inherent, right? Very aligned. So we use a lot of different language across a lot of different bridges, okay? And so I didn't know how to explain it to myself. Anyway, people would often ask me questions and I would just give them an answer. It'd just be like this, whatever. And there were times in my life where I was obsessed in different aspects of my life, addiction, just a lot of different kinds of addictions, right? So I was addicted to, religion for a minute, and a very structured religion that had a dogma that was, we're the right ones. We're the right ones. And that's okay. I don't mind. I have nothing against that, because that helped me ultimately find my connection to my current understanding of divinity, right? And I am forever grateful for everything I've ever experienced in that. So let's get back to it. So I was addicted to religion. And at the time, we were called Jesus freaks. So I don't know if they're still called that, but that's what I was. I was a Jesus freak. So I had a bunch of stickers all over the car. I was one of those good old Christian ladies. And I wasn't very judgmental. I wasn't very judgmental in my mind. I didn't think I was judgmental, okay? So this is like what we're experiencing a lot of, okay? Is that people that like have my melanin, right, are not aware at the time. And now we've grown into an awareness, and it isn't that we have something to give, but there's space we can hold. There's things that we can do that we can give back to community, right? Okay, so that's where we're all at. Anyway, so when I was in that, I thought one way because that's the conditioning that I was given. Now, I grew up in a household where my dad was deep in grief, and my grandmother, who was actually my mom's mom, raised me, and they were both in their cups over, like, their loss. And my sister and I, we bonded together. And so I felt like I had to take care of her. So that was like my mindset. So everything that I could garner that looked like me, right, I would go ahead and become it, because I didn't know who I was. Anyway, fast forward to now, I use like those aspects of experience, not for other people's application, but to add perspective that it could be this too. It could be this too. It could be this too. Plus, learning energy. Learning energy is very important. Knowing that you are the energy. So I like to share that as much as possible and look for the application and just really share it. And then that helps too. So those are some of the things that I like to do when I'm with someone one-on-one. And I know that I have it pretty structured. The reason I have it pretty structured is I want the willingness for a change to be present, because I'm going to change after having met you and sat with you and worked with you. I will gain more perspective and insight as to who I am and how we all work together, not only in oneness, but as a whole, just the whole of us, right? And so I look forward to meeting you. And thanks for being a part of my life, our life. Okay? My name's Lucinda.